Sex crimes are a reality in this world. Being close here to Interstate 10 makes it easier for predators to perpetrate their crimes here in the Panhandle. What you may not know is that sexual abuse, human trafficking, and runaways are real problems right here in Northwest Florida. The Northwest Florida Daily News has examined all these subjects, spoken with officials and survivors who are trying to fight and bring awareness to these horrible crimes.
Since 2015, law enforcement agencies in Okaloosa and Walton counties have received more than 500 reports of missing juveniles. While most are located within a day or two, a handful of those cases are still open, and a handful of families are still waiting and worrying. Florida ranks third in the U.S. for human trafficking cases. In 2016, there were 550 human trafficking cases reported, the majority of them involving sex trafficking. Predators have been targeting girls between the ages of 12 and 15 years old, and their methods aren't always obvious, as Michelle Jones, City Director of Refuge for Women Emerald Coast, tells us.
Let's take Facebook, for instance. So we have a trafficker that what they will do is they will see a profile picture, and it's not tall, skinny, blonde, blue hair. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter your income. It doesn't matter what their race is. It does not matter. And what will happen is that person will start friending the other girls' friends around them. Do you see how that works? And most of the time, teens, what they will do is they'll be sent a friend's request. Well, they'll click on that profile, that person that sent them a friend's request, and they'll be like, oh yeah, well they're a friend of John or Stacy's or Kim's or whoever, so it must be okay to accept their friend request. But the whole time, it's not, and they don't know that. So they're portraying to be a teenager, and they're not. And so that's how they kind of get into that circle, and how that could possibly transpire into start the grooming process.
The effects of sexual abuse are real. A local woman shared her story with us about how abuse led her to a life of sexual exploitation and how she has overcome these struggles.
Actually abused from the time I can't remember how old a lot of my childhood I blacked out, so I won't be able to give you exacts, but before the age of 10, I was sexually abused by 3 different people, and two of them were direct family members, and the third one was a guy who lived with us that he was a boyfriend of a family member. But the first one was pretty bad, and I was really happy just to survive that first one. But that was a bad enough one that I blacked out a lot. And when I started remembering it, I ended up in a lot of rehabs. Drugs became relief. That became how I dealt with things. I ended up in 12 rehabs. I was a stripper for a while. I was a prostitute, except I made a lot of money, so I called it an escort, because somehow that makes it better. But I figured, I was in the houses in 30A and Sandestin, and if I was out there, I couldn't be that bad, could I? Even if I was in a house full of men, 12 to 20 men, on the golf courses, all those houses out there that people go, ooh. I was in there, having sex with 12 to 20 guys in, less than 8 hours, and I'd walk out with a couple $1,000s and think, I'm good, and of course, most of it went back up my nose, because you have to be pretty numb to do that. And the Lord Jesus, He used my baby girl to help me get out of that lifestyle completely. He gave me a miracle that 3 specialists told me I would never experience motherhood, and here I am, a mother. And my hope and my prayer, sharing my story, is I am now on the other side of that, that I am not who I was. I am not who I used to be. I'm not what I used to do. My identity is no longer there. And my hope is that other women will be able to hear themselves a little bit in my story and know that they are not alone.
Journalists Jenny McKeon and Kelly Humphrey completed a comprehensive report on these subjects and how they are all related at nwfdailynews.com. I'm Nick Tomecek. Thanks for watching.